Hey guys, welcome to 8.2 day 2. We're still on the law of signs, but now we're on that ambiguous case, which is when you have SSA or ASS, which is a bad word. So that's whenever you see a bad word, you'll know to check for the ambiguous case. So it turns out when you have an angle, a side, and a side, there's a couple situations that can happen. You could have no triangle. You can have one triangle, or sometimes there's a way to even make two triangles from an angle, a side, and a side. And feel free to look through this, but I'm just going to show you kind of how to do it. Okay, so let's look at number 1 here. Notice we have ASS, angle, side, side. So we're going to try to solve it by law of signs and see how many triangles we end up getting. Okay, so because we have angle A and side A, I definitely want to use those. So sine of 40 over 3 equals, and then I'm going to use the B's because I have the side. So sine of B over 2. All right, so we're going to cross multiply and then divide. So we're going to multiply these and then divide by 3. And then we're going to have to do one other new thing on this one. So sine of 40 times 2, but then divided by 3. And now be careful. If we want to find the angle, we have to do inverse sine of this decimal. So inverse sine of that answer. That will give us angle B. Okay, so 25.4 degrees. So angle B equals 25.4 degrees. Now here's what you have to check. There is another way, well, we have to check if there's another way that this triangle could be possible. And here's how you do it. You find the supplement of this angle. Okay, because what if the 3 was actually like over here? Like, could it be possible for that to be a new triangle? So, if we do 180 minus 25.4, you get 154.6. And then you think, is it possible that angle B could be 154.6? Well, now we have to look back at our triangle here. If angle B, if there were another triangle here, and angle B was 154.6, does that make sense? And you would say no, because you know how triangles have to add to 180? 40 plus 154.6 is already over 180, so that's not possible for there to be another version of this triangle. Okay, so that's just what you have to check if it's side-side angle. Okay, so angle B is 25.4, so we are not looking at a second triangle here. Now we can pretty easily find angle C. It's just going to be 180 minus the 40 minus the 25.4. So that's 114.6. And then all we need now is side C. All right, so let's do another law of signs. I'm going to stick with the A's, and then I'm going to use my C's. So sine of 40 over 3 equals sine of, now C is 114.6 over C. And then we're just going to cross multiply and divide again to get side C. So we have 3 times sine of 114.6 divided by sine of 40. And no inverse on this one because we're just finding a side. So C is about 4.2. And I think that's all we need. All right, awesome. Let's try one more. So this one, oh, look how nice they are. They even drew the picture for you, but you won't always have that. So you have angle, side, side. But, okay, so this one's kind of cheating because they're showing you that with an angle at 35 and a side 8 and a side 6, there's actually 2 different triangles. It could be this red one with the angle side side, or it could be this big green one there's two different ways to make that triangle. Okay, but let's pretend you didn't know that and we were just trying to solve it. Okay, so let's set up, let's see, so this is angle A. We'll call this angle B and this angle C. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's try to find angle B first. Totally up to you. I'm definitely going to use these. So sine 35 over 6 equals sine of B over 8. And then go ahead and cross multiply and divide to get angle B. All right, so it's sine 35 times 8 divided by 6. But then since it's an angle, we have to do inverse sine of that decimal. Okay, so angle B is 49.9 degrees. But because it's angle side side, we have to check if it's possible to have another triangle. So remember, to do that, you take 180 minus 49.9, and let's see if that is possible. So 180 minus 49.9 is 130.1. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit here. So 49.9 is definitely possible, because if you add it to 35, you still have enough degrees for angle C. Okay, so it looks like this angle B is for the green triangle. So let's call that B1. But then 180 minus 49.9 is 130.1. It looks like that would be this one. And if you add 130.1 plus 35, you haven't surpassed 180 yet. So this actually is potentially a second triangle. So let's call this one B1, and let's call this one angle B2. So we're going to have two different triangles here. That'll be B1. Okay, cool. So now we just have to be organized, which I am not. So let's set up our two triangles. Okay, so triangle 1, we have angle B1 equals 49.9 degrees. Okay, so we're looking at the green triangle first. Okay, so right away we can find angle C1, we'll call it. That's just going to be 180 minus the 35 minus the 49.9. So that's going to be 95.1. Okay, so we've got all our angles down. Now I think we just need side C. Okay, so for side C, we'll set up law of sines. So I'm going to use the A's, and then I'm going to use the C's. So we have sine 35 over 6 equals sine of C over side C. And then we'll cross multiply and divide to get side C. All right, so this is going to be 6 times sine of 95.1 divided by sine of 35. So side C is about 10.4. And then I think we solved everything for the green triangle. Yeah. Now let's jump into the red triangle. Okay, so for the red triangle, angle B2, we called it, was 130.1. So then let's find angle C2. So that's just going to be 180 minus the 35 minus the 130.1. So this little angle C here is 14.9 degrees. And then same thing, we got to use law of sines to find the new side C. So again, I'm going to use the A's, but then I'm also going to use the C's. So sine of 35 over 6 equals sine of 14.9 over C. And I guess we could call that C2 and C1. Okay, so cross multiply and divide, and I think we have C2. So sine of 14.9 times 6 divided by sine of 35. And that's about 2.7. And then I think that's all we need. All right, awesome. If you guys want to try number 3, but I'll just have that be the one that I save for us to do in class tomorrow. Thanks for watching.